Okay, fab. If you've got any questions as we're going through, as always, pop them into the chat. If anybody coming on and watching on replay has got any questions, drop into your Telegram support and ask everything in there to myself and the team. Okay, let's jump straight into today. So, subconscious intuition. And actually, before I jump into today, what I will say is I have loved picking up messages over the last, I don't know, week and a half, maybe these have started coming through, of people who have obviously watched up until this point. And a lot of the subjects that we cover inside this first module, few modules, all interlink with each other. So sometimes you're getting similar information in a different way. And it's been really nice to have people drop in and say, I haven't thought of it in that way before, and now I really get it. Or that really made this part of it click. Because sometimes we just need to understand things in different ways. So that's been really nice. So please keep dropping those messages in, because it's really nice to be able to see which bits are really landing for you and which bits are having the most impact as well. Okay. This is the first real, let's dive into exactly what your subconscious intuition is. Let's dive into how you use it, all of that stuff within your life, but also within your business, because it makes such a huge difference. There is a quote from, I always get his surname wrong. His first name's Dean Kunst, something like that. I can never remember the surname. But it's that intuition is seeing, but with your soul. And I really, really love that. That intuition is seeing, but with your soul. And when you can connect to your subconscious intuition, it is the most powerful inner guide that you can have. It has the ability, when you listen to it, to really transform not only your business, but your life as well, because you are listening from your soul. You are listening from where you're meant to be, from what you are meant to be doing, from your purpose. And I am a firm believer that we are all here with, whether it be one purpose or a series of purposes, but so often we miss them and we chase after all of the other stuff, because the other stuff is what we feel like we should be doing, because we go on social media and it's like, this is what you need to be doing to make money, or we go on a training course and this is the strategy that you're meant to be taking, or we work with, I don't know, a coach, and it's all around what they feel like we should be doing. And we lose sight of us and our purpose. And when you can really tap into that subconscious intuition, when you can allow yourself to just remove all the pressure and be like, right, okay, so what is it? What is it I'm being guided towards? Take away how I feel I should live, the lifestyle I feel I should live. Take away the money. Take away all of that stuff. What do I really want to be doing next? What space do I really want to be in? How do I really want to be showing up? When you remove all of that stuff, when you can get past the shoulds, and I've had a lot of this over the last 2, maybe 3 weeks, of what I felt I should be doing. This is how my business, for the level it's at, should be operating. First, this is what feels really good. And it caused so much, like, almost inner turmoil for me, because this is what I should be doing. I know this is what I should be doing. I know that this is the strategy I should be following. But this is what it feels like I should be doing. And even though I'm now moving into that, this is what it feels like I should be doing, and therefore I'm going to go with this, and let's see where it goes. This might not be the end, but this is definitely the path. It's still causing that, but should I? I know I should. And it's been able to operate from that space of, I know this is what I should be doing, so I'm going to follow this path and let's see where it goes. Your subconscious is just that. It's the part of your brain that's operating beneath your conscious. It's the part that controls your emotions, your beliefs, your memories, that makes over 95% of your decisions, that effectively runs you and your thought process without you even being aware of it. The intuition part is that inner knowing that really comes from within. that comes without the rational, the logic. Some people call it their gut feeling, or their inner voice, or their inner guide. But that subconscious intuition is a really deep, instinctive wisdom that has been shaped by life experiences, past life experiences, subconscious patterns, energetic awareness that you're not even aware of, your own mindset, your own experiences. It's that whole, if you go to do something and you're not sure if it's the right or the wrong thing, and then you get that gut feeling that this isn't what I should be doing, that's your subconscious intuition. The reason you feel it at that point and not every day is because you allow yourself to feel it at that point. In the everyday, it's so easy to block it off. But if you stop blocking that off, actually it's easier to make better decisions, because you can quickly identify, is this an opportunity? Is it a risk? Is it the right path forward? It allows you to get more creative when solving problems, because you come up with different ideas and solutions, which you don't get when you're coming at it from a logical, rational space. Think outside that box a little bit. You become a better leader because you can lead with more confidence. Because you're trusting yourself, you're automatically more confident. It's easier to inspire others when you come from that space. It's easier to lead with authenticity because you're following your inner guide. It's easier to lead with clarity because quite often those decisions that we make from that intuitive place are simpler. There's less to cloud us. And actually, when you allow yourself to do that, you're building not only a business that's aligned with your values and your vision, but you're also reducing your own stress, your overthinking, that paralysis of what do I do, because you're just doing that next thing. You're not thinking 4 years down the line, although sometimes you will be thinking 4 years down the line. You're thinking, actually, what's the next? What's that next step for me? What do I need to do next? And it's always that next. So yes, I know that this is roughly where I want to be in a year's time. What's the next action? Research has shown that our intuition, bear with me, there's going to be a dog going mental in a minute because someone's just knocked on the door. Research has shown that our intuition is a combination of subconscious patterns, of emotional signs. I'm hoping they're not too loud, blocking away in the background. I'm hoping my husband shuts them up in a minute. Your brain will process data, information much faster than you can even process data and information. Your brain will pick information up, process it, and then deliver that insight to you quicker than you can ever possibly imagine. And that's what gives you that gut instinct, because it's taken data, it's processed it faster than you can ever imagine, and it's delivered that insight to you as a gut feeling. But so often we ignore them. So often we don't allow ourselves the space mentally, physically, to be able to listen. Our intuition is really heavily influenced, guided by the right hemisphere within our brain. The right hemisphere in our brain is all about creativity, big thinking, creating a vision. That's really where we want to be thinking from, because it allows us to be different, to be us, and not get sucked into what we should be doing. Things like, okay, so tapping into your subconscious intuition, things you can do. So things like practicing being still. And that might be allowing yourself to just sit and allowing imagination to create whatever that vision is. It might be meditation. It might be deep breathing. It might be mindfulness exercises. It might be going out for a walk and just being in nature. It might be, for some people, actually, it's even things like sitting and watching TV that's complete escapism, because it's not the fact that they're watching the program, it's the fact that the program allows the rest of their brain to switch off and then they start to daydream. It might be that reading does that for you. It might be that listening to music does that for you. It doesn't always have to be meditation and mindfulness, being still. Now, I actually find one of the best spaces for me to do this is when I'm out with the horses, because I find it really difficult to completely turn my brain off. There's always stuff. Always stuff. I would love to be somebody who can sit and do completely silent meditations. And I can't, because what happens is I end up going through my to-do list. I think of stuff that I should have done that day. What am I going to do next? What if this happens? What if this happens? What? My brain ends up busier than when I first started. So if I'm doing meditations, if I'm doing visualizations, they're quite often guided, and they are often ones that I've written myself, because I find the fact that I'm speaking them so much more powerful. But they're still guiding me, and being able to tap into your intuition. You need to remove the guidance. You need to remove that side of it. So for me, the one time where I know I'm not inside my own head, or I'm not thinking about it, is when I'm outside with horses, is when I'm doing those tasks where I'm completely absorbed and I allow my brain to wander. So what is that to you? You know, that might be mindfulness activities. It might be journaling. If it's journaling, again, don't do it prescriptively. Just allow yourself to write whatever comes up. Allow yourself to be completely in the moment, no matter how random what you're writing might seem. It's things that need to get out of your head. You know, being able to trust your body's signals, being able to trust what your intuition tells you. And often the first part of that is those physical feelings. So how your intuition manifests in your body physically is different for everybody. It could be a gut feeling, it could be a tight chest, it could be a sense of inner calm and peace. But it's allowing yourself to pick up on those feelings. And quite often the first time that we feel those, or the first time we're most aware of those sorts of feelings, is when we have to make a decision. So the next few decisions you're making, just see if there's a commonality between one of your body's signals. That's probably your intuition and where it manifests. And then you can start to really tap into that. Another thing to do is to ask really powerful questions and listen for that internal physical response. So allowing yourself to think, what am I resisting and why? What feels most aligned to me at the moment? Do I really love this program I'm teaching? Do I really love working with clients? Do I really love my business? Do I really love where we live? All of those things. And you'll start to see some commonalities in the internal responses you have. And if you go through a visualization, so again, I have talked about visualizations before and how I use them. If you go through a visualization that is very specific to you, and it's all about stepping into your future self, whatever that might look like, while you're in that space, again, how does your body feel? You know, mentally saying to yourself, how do I get from here to here? And allowing yourself to just be open to what comes up. And the first few times you do it, it might be nothing, or you might think, gosh, that's just absolute nonsense. Just allow yourself. It's like a muscle. You have to practice. The more you practice, the more it's worked, the more it works, the more you understand it. So the first few times, if this is not something you've done, the first few times you do it, no, you're probably not going to get the answers that you're looking for. But you will get answers. And the more you refine it, the better it becomes. You know, the blocks, the limitations, the patterns, the behaviors that we all have ingrained can put blocks around our subconscious. It can really cloud our intuition as well. But just allowing yourself to be open, allowing yourself to go through this program, allowing yourself to use the tools that we have inside here and coming up inside here, allowing yourself to release fears, doubts, and just trust is the easiest way to reprogram your subconscious intuition. Allowing yourself to make decisions. And again, start small. Start really small. If you are allowing yourself to just trust, make a decision, see what happens. Unless you've been using your intuition for a while, do not do it on a huge decision. Test it out on little mini decisions, where actually, if you pick the wrong answer, it's not the end of the world. It's one of those things, you'll live with it and you'll move on to the next thing. So use small questions. We often think of it as like a head and heart approach. That heart approach is your subconscious. Being able to sometimes even just write down the pros and cons, get everything out of your head that you're panicking about over this decision onto paper, then allows you to feel more emotionally expansive. Because you've got all of that stuff out of your head. So now you can stop worrying, you're going to forget some of that, and you can just allow yourself to be open. Being able to sit and just brainstorm, grab a massive piece of paper, loads of coloured pens, I love paper and pen, loads of coloured pens, and just brainstorm what's possible. So instead of thinking, what could I achieve? Where could I be in a year's time? Where could I be in 3 years' time? Where could I be in 3 months? What could the business be doing? We come at that from a very logical perspective. Well, I could be here, but will I be? No, okay, so we'll just rein it back in a little bit. We come at that from a very logical perspective. What's possible? Well, actually, it's possible that I could create X, Y, and Z. It's possible that I could do this. It's possible that I could. Will you do it all? No, probably not. You might, but probably not. Because when you start to ask, is what's possible? Possible's bigger. Possible's opportunity. What's possible? Well, possible is that I could hit my 10-year goal in 3 years. It's possible. Rather than realistic. Is that realistic? No, looking at it from where you're stood now, that's not realistic, but it's possible. Sit and do that brainstorming session. Like, what's possible? Like, when you're thinking of who you really want to work with, when you're thinking of what you really want to do, your offers, again, tap into that inner knowing. What's possible? What would you love to do? If you were living that possible life, how would all this stuff fit in? How would your business fit into this? Because if it doesn't, you need to do some more work on that. Does it fit in with you now? Does it feel good now? Does this feel like the space you want to be in now? Because if not, if it's not in your possible version and it's not in your now version, there is a barrier there. And quite often when we're sitting in this space of our intuition, we have blocks to even just allowing ourselves to allow it to come through. Fear of being wrong. Like I said, if you use your intuition to make a massive decision and then it's wrong, we have this fear of being wrong. We have fear of being judged. We can have fear of the fact that we've become over-reliant on external stuff. The metrics on our social media platforms, the data and the insights, how many people have been on my website, how many people have commented, how many people have liked, how many people have watched my video, how many people have shared, all of that stuff. We become so hung up on that external validation. We can become completely disconnected from ourselves because we're so overwhelmed, we're so burnt out. We don't allow ourselves to just lean in because there's so much other stuff going on with inside us. Like I said, trusting yourself to make those little tiny decisions. Because if you're doing that, you're building up trust in yourself, you're building up confidence in yourself to allow yourself to make bigger decisions. Taking breaks to just sit and feel, how does this feel? Look at the possibilities. If you're in the cycle of comparisonitis and external validation, come away from what's causing that. Move away from it. If you're doing something because it feels right, ignore all of the external stuff and just do it. You have the ability to use your subconscious intuition to be your guide, to create clarity, to create creativity. If you allow yourself to use it, to build that trust, to build that confidence, it's going to open up infinite possibilities, because your subconscious intuition will see things that you do not see consciously. It will draw you to take in opportunities that you would not normally take consciously. Now, I'm in the process of looking at the most exciting opportunity ever in my entire business life. And if it all moves forward in the way it's looking like it's going to at the moment, it will be in the next quarter. That is not something I would ever have done from logic, because it made no logical sense. How this came about, my actions in this, made no logical sense. They're still not making very much logical sense, but they feel good. They feel exciting. It feels like something I need to explore. Taking a small bit of time out each day just to connect with you. Taking 5 minutes on a morning to tap into actually what feels really good today. Like I've said, your intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. The more you trust yourself, the more confident you become. The more you allow yourself to be led by yourself, that's the ultimate act of self-leadership. It's the ultimate way you can show up as a leader for your audience. If you can show up for yourself every day, trust in yourself every day, you have everything within you that you need. You do not need to be showing up for other people. You do not need to be showing up and thinking, right, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z because that's what's on my plan today. Yes, to a degree, you need to do that. We all need, if you're building a business, we all need visibility, we all need sales. Otherwise, you don't actually have a business. So yes, you've got to be doing those things, but what feels good within there? What within that are you just doing as a tick box because you should? And what within that feels really good and really exciting to be doing? And that stuff will change. What feels good and what feels exciting this month might not feel good and feel exciting next month or next year. But I would love for you to sit and just really think about, do that bit of a brainstorming. Like, what's possible? What could I do? What's possible? Is what I'm doing at the moment aligned with that? Is that okay for it to be aligned or not to be aligned with that? Take a bit of time out each day just to allow yourself to step into that quiet, whatever that quiet is for you, and listen. Ask yourself those powerful questions. Ask yourself, what next? Allow yourself to feel the feelings around that. And that might be excitement, it might be joy, it might be gratitude, but equally it might be fear. It might be worry. And that's okay, as long as you can then dive a little bit deeper. Okay, so I'm really worried, I'm really fearful over this. Where's that coming from? Well, actually, it's coming from a place that I might fail. Well, actually, if I fail, then what? Then next. There's always something else. We get so hung up on what we should be doing, what we've been shown we should be doing, that very few people actually allow themselves to dive into what feels really good, where they should be, what they actually truly within themselves need to be doing, and the space that they need to be in. I am excited to hear what comes up for you all. Drop into Telegram and let me know what comes up. Let me know your thoughts. If you've got any questions, if it's something that you find really difficult, if it's something you're finding a little bit easier, let me know where you are with this stuff, because then I can give you resources, specific advice, answer your questions. If you are live, you've got any questions, drop them into the chat. I'm going to end the recording in a minute. I'm going to come and have a look at those as well. I cannot wait to catch up with all of you on this and see how this really impacts your journey moving forwards. Because when you can trust yourself from a space of, I'm really listening to me, I am actually just going to listen to me, and the rest of the world can just do its thing, you know you're in the right place. And that's where you're really going to build that inner peace, the inner confidence, the inner trust, and success. Because you cannot create your success by modeling it on somebody else's. Your success comes from within. And that's also where the most sustainable, consistent success comes from. Because you can build a successful business, but if it isn't built on those foundations, if it isn't built on that solid footing, it's all going to come crashing down eventually. Okay, I will chat with you all soon. Take care.